Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be showing you guys the ultimate Blackout gameplay experience in Grand Theft Auto Online. That's right, I've played all 5 of the new slasher adversary modes. I'm going to be showing them off in this video, telling you which one's my favorite, giving you the best look at Los Santos in the Blackout, and a whole lot more. So some few things before we get started. One, you can't actually go into the city and experience the Blackout, which I thought was kind of a bummer. It's only in the areas in which the adversary mode takes place, which I'll of course explain a little bit later on. And there's also only 5 adversary modes. Now they're typically given by Martin Madrazo, but really once you get into one, you can choose from all the other 4. So it's a pretty easy and seamless process. But anyways, let's get into it, and let's start with slasher number 1. Which actually takes place in the meat factory. And this is one of the more interesting ones because there's so many obstacles and objects hanging from the ceiling and things that you can run into. There's meat carcasses and meat hooks everywhere. It's actually pretty scary. Now, in terms of being very dark, that is not the case. I was easily able to see without my flashlight, which I'll explain later. There are some where you need the flashlight or it's rip in pieces, absolutely done. And I had a pretty good amount of success, and I thought this was an overall fun time. The corridors and the hallways are pretty wide, so you really have to check each and every individual corner, because there can be some places that are out of your field of view, especially if you're in first person mode where people might be hiding. So overall, slasher number 1 was a pretty good time. It was in the meat factory, so it was actually cool to go in here and experience this, because the only other time you got to was in single player when you were rescuing Michael. So I really like this one. Moving on to slasher number 2, it's actually in the FIB building, and I love the intro sequence to all these slashers because it starts out with the lights and then boom, the blackout hits. And I don't know what was going on with the mirror at the start, but that was some freaky stuff. But anyways, this one is pretty dark. I won't say it's impossible to see without your flashlight, but it definitely helps. One tricky thing about the FIB building is a lot of the offices will actually open up. So you have to check every little individual corridor for people hiding there. There's also a storage closet that can be found and that you can go into. So even though things might not look like doors, they might actually end up being doors. And you can see my downfall at the end here when I run into an area. And if you get double teamed and you miss a shot with the shotgun, you have to reload or pump the shell in. That actually couldn't cost you your life, which is what happened to me at the very end. But it was still overall lots of fun, and I had a great time. The FIB office is super cool. Once again, we don't really get to go in here much in online, so it's great to go back and just check out this epic area. Alright, slasher number 3 is probably my favorite because it takes place on the dock from single player and the heist, but most importantly, it gives us our best view of Los Santos and the Blackout. And sadly, we can't go to Los Santos in the Blackout, which is a huge shame. And I actually got to the front of the boat and was able to see the Vespucci Pier, and it just looks beautiful. You can see the emergency lights that are still on and just this dark backdrop. It really looks amazing. But focusing on the actual slasher mode itself, this one is pretty difficult. It's not dark in any way whatsoever because you're out in the open, so there isn't really much need for a flashlight, but there's lots of, as you guys know on the yacht, levels, making it really, really tricky. And at the end of this game, I actually got into a stalemate, and I wasn't really too sure how the rules worked at first, so I was just waiting for him to come to me. And if you're the slasher, the guy who's trying to take out the hunted, if you don't kill him, you lose. It doesn't end in a draw, so you have to kill them. The name of the game for the hunted is to survive. And there's lots of little hiding spots in here. If you haven't even gone on that boat before, you'll notice that there's lots of little dark areas and corners, like in the engine room, where you can hide. So you definitely got to check all the little places. It'll get dark inside, but it's not too terribly dark on the outside. Now, if you want a true slasher experience, slasher number 4 is by far one of the creepiest and scariest ones that I've done. And I was doing it in the middle of the morning on my live stream, but it is pitch black in the Humane Labs. Pitch black. When I mean pitch black, I mean it's literally this is a blindness simulator. So the flashlight on your gun and in your person is going to be necessary, except I definitely don't recommend turning it on as the hunted, because that was a huge giveaway when I was looking for someone. This guy derped and turned on his flashlight. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that could be. So I went and killed him. And it was an extremely hard game mode because it is so dark. There's so many different laboratories and equipment going on that it's really easy to just hide behind something. And because it's so dark, you won't be found. And it's just a blast. I only played this as the hunter. I'm sure as the hunted, it is still pretty fun. And at the end, it got pretty intense because I was hiding my flashlight against a wall, and these guys ran out. They were trying to scurry to a different hiding spot, and I almost took them out at the end. So it was a lot of fun. This one is just insane because it's pitch black. It's like I said, it's like a blindness simulator. So it was really crazy, and I really had a great time in the Humane Labs. Slasher number 4. All right, and last but not least, slasher number 5 takes place in the morgue, if that's how you pronounce it, M-O-R-G-U-E. I know it's the place where dead people get autopsies done. It's where Michael fakes being killed, and he gets inside to retrieve something. It's a multi-story level. It's not too dark. The only thing that's going to trip you up is the staircase. It's kind of difficult to traverse up, and the fact that the FIB building, all the offices can you can go inside, so you can hide behind little bookshelves and desks and whatnot. But it was still overall a blast. I had lots of fun, and it also gives you a pretty cool view of Los Santos as well. If you look out one of the windows, you can see kind of the maze bank at a little bit more of a closer up angle. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I overall had an awesome time with all of these, including Slasher 5. If I had to give you guys my favorites, I would say the yacht is awesome just because of the scenery and you get to experience the blackout of the city. And also the FIB building. That's just a cool freaking building to explore. So Slasher 2 and Slasher 3 are definitely high on my list, but all of them are extremely fun and very exciting. So I definitely recommend you check that out, whether you're interested in the blackout gameplay or having lots of fun. Typically, I wasn't a fan of the adversary modes, but these are an absolute blast. Rockstar did an unbelievable job with the slasher modes, and I definitely recommend you try them out. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. I'm curious to know which ones you thought were the best. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be awesome. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Grand Theft Auto 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.